going on, everybody? In this video, we're going to go over the NBA slate for today, as well as the baseball slate. So, got to make an NBA video included in this because been doing really well so far with the playoffs. The two slates, 2-0 on them, and it's just a 2-game slate today, but we do have some big prizes, so we're going to go over that. Like I said, if you want to join us for the playoffs, you can hit the website link in the description. $20 for the entire postseason. I also have a daily option. And then baseball, looking to bounce back after a pretty rough weekend for baseball. Just yesterday was just terrible going with the Red Sox stack, and then both of my pitchers got me negative, so can't get much worse than what I put out yesterday. So looking to have a big bounce back on baseball and then continue crushing in basketball. Right now, we're at a 234 with Clint Capella's game still to play, and the Bledsoe is still in the fourth quarter. Maybe he'll get some more minutes there, but it's a big blowout. So let's get right into the picks. I'm going to start off with the NBA first. So before we get started, as always, please be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe for good luck. So we just have 2 games for basketball today. Sixers, Nets, and Clippers, Warriors. First up at point guard, I think Ben Simmons is really cheap at $7,300 still. His price tag went down $500 from game 1. He came out of that game with a really bad game offensively, just 9 points. He heard it from the fans. He got booed. Sixers team got booed. He had some pretty tough comments after the game about the fans. So I think he really needs to prove himself in this one. The Sixers are desperate for a win. Even though it's only the second game, you definitely don't want to go back into Brooklyn down 2-0. So it's pretty much a must-win for the Sixers. At 7,300, I'm expecting Ben Simmons to have a really big game, and I think he's definitely going to have a lot more than 3 assists. So I think there's a good chance he'll get a double-double here. I'm kind of expecting him to flirt with a triple-double, if not get a triple-double. And if he does, at 7,300, you're looking at an easy 45 to 50 DraftKings points if he does manage a triple-double. So seems like a really good play at this price. At shooting guard, I think Landry Shamet is going to be one of my favorite value plays of the day. Just couldn't buy a bucket against the Warriors in the first game. Just went 1 of 6 from the floor. But he has been playing a lot of minutes for this Clippers team, and he has been really productive. He's a good 3-point shooter. He's shooting over 42%. He's shooting 42% from 3 on the season, and ever since he was on the Clippers, he was really good from 3. As you can see, he's shooting 50% in 12 home games, in 12 road games since he's been a Clipper. He just seems really cheap, and at 3,600, I think he can get you like 8 to 9x value if he's really shooting the ball well. Another Clipper that I like is Danilo Gallinari. So he's really cheap at 6,600. He's had some monster games here since Tobias Harris has been gone to the Sixers. His price tag is really appealing. He's had multiple 50-point games in his past handful. He just has a lot of upside. He is, him and Lou Williams dominates the offense, and he's been a good rebounder as well. He's a great 3-point shooter, like a really good 3-point shooter, 43% on the season. And they're definitely going to need his offense in this one. So Clippers looking for a bounce back. I think Danilo Gallinari is going to have a big game here. He's a really good price too at 66. Montrezl Harrell, going to continue going with the Clippers here. I think Montrezl Harrell is a really good play today. 5,900 is just too cheap for a guy that, even though he comes off the bench, he sees starter level minutes here, especially in the playoffs. He's going to be seeing like 34, 35 minutes. Played 30 minutes in game 1. It was a blowout. But seriously, coming off the bench, he's going to be seeing a lot of minutes there. He has a ton of offensive upside and rebounding upside too. Him and Lou Williams play really well together. Williams gets him the ball. Easy dunks, easy layups. So it's a good spot for Harrell at 5,900. Seems like way too cheap. Joel Embiid is going to be my spend up. He's listed questionable, but there's no way he doesn't play in this one. Absolutely dominated the Nets in just 24 minutes for 56 points, and he was terrible shooting the basketball, just 5 of 15. He's definitely a much better shooter than that, and he's probably going to play He's going to play like at least 10 more minutes than 24 minutes. So he went to the locker room for a bit. So you're looking at a really great spot for Embiid, who was absolutely dominating at the end of the regular season. The games that he did play in end of March, like lots of 70s, had an 80-point game, triple-double, 85, 84-point game. So really good spot for Embiid here. He's the guy that I want to pay up for. And then Draymond Green is the one guy on the Warriors that I really like. I like him and Klay Thompson. He's really cheap. But Draymond Green has actually been really playing great basketball. In his last 10 games, he's shooting 47% from 3. He's been shooting over 50% from the floor. He's just been really productive. He's been awesome in all 5 games against the Clippers this season, averaging 39 DraftKings points at just 6,100. That's over six. That's about 6.5 times value. He's had some big games as well. He's a great guy for defensive stats like steals and blocks, and he also can flirt with a triple-double as well. So 6,100, way too cheap for Draymond Green. So those are the 6 players that I like for basketball. Let's get on to this baseball slate. So 9-game slate today. Favorite stacks are going to be the Royals against Santana, and then the White Sox against Philmeyer and that bad bullpen. So first up at pitcher, I like Trevor Bauer at 10-4. Trevor Bauer is one of the best pitchers in the league, coming off a rough game against Detroit out of all teams. But the thing that you like about the Indians here is that their pitchers always go deep into games. Bauer has thrown 108, 117, and 115 pitches in his first 3 games, and that's not unusual for this staff. They all go deep into games, all throw way over 100 pitches. That's unlike some teams like Dave Roberts and Gabe Kapler that routinely pull pitchers at like 80 pitches, 80 to 85. So you're getting a lot of pitches out of Bauer. He has a ton of strikeout upside. This Mariners offense is pretty scary, but he's by far the best pitching option on the board, and the guy that's been pretty solid this year. I'm expecting a big bounce back spot from him. So I like Bauer at 10-4. A value SP2 I like is Martin Perez at 6,400. So he's making a start. He's making his first start of the season. Has pitched 3 games out of the bullpen. I like him a little bit just because he has some strikeout upside. Coming into the spring, as you can see, his averaging 95 almost on his fastball, which is 2 miles per hour higher than it was last season. So if he can continue that, he should have a lot of strikeouts, and he has been having strikeouts here. He has 12 strikeouts in just a little over 8 innings, 8 1/3 innings. So even though he has been giving up runs in his relief appearances, this Toronto offense is not very good except for Freddie Galvis, who's been raking. And I think this is a good ballpark for pitching. It's supposed to be a little cold in Minnesota, and this Toronto offense does strike out a lot. So Martin Perez is on. He can get me like double digits, 15 to 20 DraftKings points, and I'll be happy with that. First guy I like at first base is Jose Abreu at 4,300. So he gets a really good matchup against Philmeyer, who is terrible, and the bullpen is also extremely bad for the Royals. So I like Abreu as my favorite first baseman. He's been a little cold as of late, but got off to a really hot start. He still has 3 home runs and 10 RBIs on the season. He's been a lot better on the road so far. And the matchup, you can't get for a better matchup here against Philmeyer. So at 4,300, I like Abreu a lot. He has great numbers against Philmeyer, 3 for 3 with a home run. So definitely can see the ball well off of him. I like Whit Merrifield on the other side. So Merrifield is just a really, really good hitter. The last 10 games, he's hitting 370, 630 slugging percentage. I love stacking the Royals because all their hitters will run on the bases. They are most likely going to lead the league in stolen bases by far again, like they did last season. Merrifield leading off, has home run upside too, ton of steal upside, and should get like at least 5 at-bats here. Really like the spot for Whit Merrifield at second base. In the outfield, we're going to start off with Alex Gordon. So the Royals do have some really good hitters in the lineup that have been hitting the ball well. Merrifield's a good hitter. Gordon's been on fire this season. Hunter Dozier's been hot. Ryan O'Hearn can hit one out. Mondesi. So they do have some hard hitters here. Alex Gordon, another guy that's been crushing as of late. 436 average, 795 slugging in his last 10 games. Go with 3 home runs. The matchup is great against Ervin Santana, who has struggled ever since he had that All-Star appearance in 2017. I don't think he's going to get much better here in this spot against a Royals team that will work deep counts and will steal bases. Alex Gordon at 4,200. Even though he doesn't have a stolen base yet this season, he is a guy that will run when given a chance. So just the way he's been playing, it makes me like him a lot in this matchup. And then finally, I like Eloy Jimenez. So probably going to stack up this game if I can. Jimenez, one of the best prospects of the White Sox. He got off to a slow start, but has been heating up, especially at home. He's been really good. for 348 average. He has 2 home runs. Both of them came in the same game. But ever since that game, he's been pretty good. Before that game, he was really hot with 3 out of 4 multi-hit games. He's hit a lot of singles so far this season. But he does have a ton of power, and it's a matter of time before he really gets hot with power. And the matchup against Phil Meyer is great. He's not much of a strikeout guy, so it's a really good spot for this White Sox team. So those are the picks that I like for baseball. Basketball picks, baseball picks, all in one video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like if you did, and you can visit my website if you're interested in getting on board. Thanks for watching, and good luck today.